esteemed Principal, Professor K. Virat, Dean of Instruction, Professor K.S.C. Sharma, Professor Sheila Upadhyay, Chairperson of this function, and Professor D. Ganguly, the Chief Guest of this extension lecture, all the faculty of the Institute, teachers of DMS, and all the students present here. It is very important day for me as I have been asked to introduce Professor D. Ganguly, who has come over here to deliver his extension lecture on Rabindra Tagore. Friends, it is my proud privilege and pleasure to say something about my mentor and teacher, Professor D. Ganguly, who is an outstanding teacher of English. He was head of the Department of English in Tilka Manjhi Bhagalpur University, Bhagalpur. He has published a lot of books, numerous articles, papers in different journals and magazines all over the country. He is well known as a teacher because he has wonderful command over English literature. Besides English literature, he has his specialization in Indian English writing, particularly a scholar of unusual caliber on Tagore and Rabindra. He has presented paper in different national and international seminars all over the country. He has delivered extension lecture and his guest lecture in different occasions, in different conferences, symposia and seminars. So now with these words, now let me invite our Reverend teacher, Professor D. Ganguly, to come over the dais and deliver his lecture. So let us welcome.
Tagore has been like a sea to me where I have taken dips. I have had my bath almost regularly in the great ocean of Tagore. I am like that doll of Saul referred to by Ramakrishna Paramhans, that a doll of Saul dwelt with tape in its hand to measure the sea, and as soon as it stepped into the sea, it melted and became a part of the sea. It could not measure it. Tagore is like an ocean to me, and I just go into it, enjoy it, and come out of it. But it is obligatory on our part almost that on such dates, such hours, this is sesquicentenary of Tagore, 150 years after his birth. It is our duty to remember him, not for him, but for ourselves. Because Tagore is such a great figure, and Tagore is so near us that he is the panacea for the modern world. T.S. Eliot says, "Where is the wisdom we have lost in knowledge? Where is the knowledge we have lost in information?" This world of information technology, this world which emphasizes upon information only at the cost of knowledge, and whatever knowledge it gets, it is at the cost of wisdom. In this world, Tagore is the panacea, because Tagore not only represents the most important human values, but also knows how to take those values to hearts, how they can be made palatable, how they can be made acceptable to the last person in the villages even. Tagore's song is sung all over Bengal. Whoever understands Bengali must listen to Tagore song, must hum a few lines of Tagore song. This is a kind of miracle that Tagore could bring. WBS was overwhelmed by this kind of miracle. How is it that a man who was so far away, who belonged to a country far away from his, could make that kind of ripple in his heart? What was the charm? What was the miracle? WBS did not understand his poetry very much. It was so different in character, emerging from so different an ethos, but he was stirred by the poetry of Tagore. So he recommended the Nobel Prize. Now the point is that I will not go into the details of Tagore because it is impossible for me to go into the details of Tagore. His power is so great, writing say not less than 10,000 poems of the first order, 2,000 songs and giving musical notation to many of them. He wrote a huge body of literature, a huge body which spreads all over topics and aspects of human thought. And at the same time going deep into the most basic realization of the human heart, extending horizontally, going deep vertically. Tagore's poetry is something unique in the world. One day someone asked me that if God asks him, because you belong to a very poor state and also poor in many respects, if God asks you, what do you want in your next birth to be a Bengali once again? I said yes, not because of anything else, but because I will be able to read Tagore once again in Urdu, or nothing else. Because, and whoever, whether he is a Bengali speaking or Hindi speaking or English speaking, once he goes close to Tagore, he is bound to be a changed person. This I can guarantee. Well, you can say that literature has that quality of changing a person. Reading Shakespeare also changes a person from within. But Tagore is so sweet, so lyrical, so charming that it happens rather immediately. In Shakespeare or in Dante or in Milton, that immediacy is not there. That tune, that melody, that takes you very close to Tagore immediately. But was Tagore just a man writing literature? I will just refer to a few incidents in his life. This man lost his mother in his early childhood. This man lost his wife when he was in the prime of his youth. He lost his sister-in-law, who was the source of inspiration in his writings. He had 5 children, and he lost 3 of them when he was alive. In his lifetime, he lost 3 of his children. The most favorite son of his, he lost him when he was 13. The child was 13. And he had so many such experiences in life. It was tragedy all through. And if Goethe says poetry is born of pain, Tagore's poetry is the best example of being born of pain. It is like Valmiki's poetry, first poetry which came out of his mouth, out of the pain for the death of one of the crown Chivaitun. Ma Nishad Pratishtham Dwamagama Shashwati Sama. The first sloka of the word coming out of a painful heart. in Tagore's case also, pain after pain, and how could he bear that pain, we wonder. He had that courage of facing life's vicissitudes. Whatever life gives, he has the courage to accept. This courage, I am giving a few examples. At that time in Bengal, terrorism was there. There were terrorists, and their aim was all right, that they wanted the Britishers to go, and so they wanted to create an atmosphere of collapse of law and order. Tagore had the courage to denounce terrorism at that time. At that time, when a terrorist became a hero, he denounced terrorism. No, it is no good. Terrorism should not be appreciated. In many writings, he wrote that. One brave action at that time, when all around him people liked terrorism because that could bring perhaps, they thought, independence. He loved Mahatma Gandhi. This title was given by Tagore to Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi Mahatma. He loved him because he knew that Gandhiji was the real leader of Indian nation, and his long hand reached the last person of the village. He loved him. But when Gandhiji said, Tagore asked him, what can I do for you? Give me some prescription. Gandhiji said, after much thinking, you better run the spinning wheel, charkha, for half an hour every day. Tagore said, if that would bring freedom to the country, I would do it not for half an hour, but for all the time of the day, for 24 hours of the day. So that means he rejected. Just on the face of Mahatma Gandhi, he said, charkha spinning will not do anything. And then, when Gandhiji said that Bihar earthquake was on account of casteism in Bihar, it was God's punishment, Tagore reacted vehemently to it. He had that scientific mind which grows much above all these petty considerations, casteism, communalism, all these things. He was above that. Here is the letter to Gandhiji. Dear Mahatma Ji, the press reports that you, in a recent speech referring to the recent earthquake in Bihar, spoke as follows. I want you to believe with me that the earthquake is a divine chastisement for the great sin we have committed against those whom we describe as Harijans. I find it difficult to believe it. But if this be your real view on the matter, I do not think it should go unchallenged. So, Tagore, in this way, replied to Gandhiji, because he thought that an earthquake was just a natural calamity, and one has to fight against it, one has to meet this challenge of nature as much as one can, sportingly, and also do whatever one can to manage. Then, so far as his poetry is concerned, I clearly find that three streams have come to him. One is from the Upanishad. From the Upanishad, he learned the relationship between man and nature. And the other source was from Vaishnava poetry. From Vaishnava poetry, which flourished even in the 13th and 14th centuries in Bengal. From Vaishnava poetry, he learned relationship between man and man, or man and woman. The third kind was from English Romanticism of the 19th century. From that, he learned man-art relationship. Very difficult for me to go into the details of that, but these three streams to be found in Tagore. These Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati. These three streams running down to him and his poetry flourishing out of that. One very important aspect of Tagore is that he has maintained throughout his life the questioning spirit. This questioning spirit, he said, that makes a man in the true sense of the term. We are born here and we just look around like a child and we probe into it. There is no end to it. There is no temple at the end of the road. The road is my temple, he said. He said in a poem, why do you cry incessantly, O sea? The sea replies, I go on questioning and questioning. Why are you so silent, O mountain? The mountain replies, I have no answer. So the answer, you cannot get the final answer. I can quote a few lines of Bengali also, if you can enjoy that. Pratham diner surjo, the sun of the first day, Prashna korechilo, asked, Shaktar nutan avirbhabe, it asked the first show of God or first appearance of God. Who are you? Millennium God. Got no answer. Vatshor chole gelo, divasher shesh surjo, shesh prashno charilo, paschim সাগর তীরে নিস্তব্ধ সন্ধ্যায় কে তুমি? My translation of these lines here, I read it out to you. This is Tagore's philosophy throughout his life, that no answer is possible of the fundamental questions that we put to God, or we put to ourselves, or we put to nature. No answer is possible. Poetry's domain lies in the question. This question, this curiosity to know, this curiosity to transcend, this curiosity to move beyond what we have got, that makes a poet a poet. The sun on its first rise had asked the new manifestation of the eternal self, who art thou? And got no answer. Years passed by, and the last sun of the day asked the question for the last time, while setting on the western horizon, who art thou? And got no answer. If you get answer, then you become a Buddha, who only smiled after having got all the answers. So, a poet goes on asking questions because there is actually no answer. Like science, poetry goes on transcending itself. Poetry has no final solution to anything. The scientist asked why the apple fell on the ground, and so he discovered something. The priest had said, why shouldn't it fall on the ground? God, all merciful, He has sent it for us to eat. And so the apple falls on the ground. That was the priest's reply. And the parents' reply was, how can it go up to the sky? Don't put silly questions. These are silly questions. But the boy was not satisfied. Similarly, Siddhartha was not satisfied when the answers were given by monks. Why death? Why illness? Why old age? Nobody could satisfy. He himself found out the answer under the banyan tree at there. He himself found it out that every misery is on account of our desire for things. If you curb your desires, then gradually you overcome misery. Like that scientist, Tagore also goes on questioning no finality. So Einstein was interested in Tagore. Thrice they met, and thrice they exchanged their views. Only once there was some difference. The last meeting in 1929. Einstein said that a fact is a fact. If the sun rises in the sky and the moon rises in the sky, they are there. It is not your perception that makes them exist. They have their objective existence. Tagore replied, no, it is my perception of the sun and the moon that makes them exist. Had there been no man on earth, no perceiving soul on earth, then their existence matters little. They don't exist. They exist because I perceive them to exist. And herein lies the difference. Tagore's approach was subjective. Suppose there is a world where there is no human being, no life at all. Sun is there, moon is there, flowers bloom. Do they exist there? Existence. What is existence? Only being is not existence. Existence means a kind of rainbow that you establish between the object and the subject. That is existence. Einstein differs sharply. Einstein said no. They exist by their own right. The scientific mind of Tagore was very much there, and after having read Tagore, I also believe that there is hardly any difference between science and poetry. Hardly any difference between mathematics and poetry. Let us start with mathematics for a while. Mathematics says x is the unknown quantity, and it solves problems taking x to be the unknown quantity. Now, what is this unknown quantity? Is it an object? No. It takes a particular shape, x takes a particular shape when you say that log n to the base x, n to the base a is equal to x. It is a particular shape x taking because you have brought it down to a mathematical calculation that logarithm of a number with respect to a given base is the index of the power to which the base is to be raised to give the number. You have brought it down to that level. Shakespeare said, the poet's eye in a fine frenzy rolling does glance from heaven to earth and from earth to heaven, and as imagination bodies forth, it gives to airy nothing a local habitation and a name. Here is X, an airy nothing, taking its local habitation and a name in Bhagalpur. A mathematician only knows how to move between 0 and infinity. His integral calculation, all the problems, they are solved when he ranges from 0 to infinity. What is poetry doing? What is 0? Poetry knows that. Because a mathematician only doesn't know that a divided by 0 is equal to infinity. 1 divided by 0 is equal to infinity. This 1 is God, maybe it is God, 0 is nothingness, and infinity is the entire universe. So what is nothingness? Nothingness is tyag in poetic terms. Nothingness is that tyag which makes the entire Gita possible. That is nothingness. So if you divide your one, that is your God, with your knowledge of nothingness, then entire universe is created. It is not just God said, let there be light, and there was light. But the creation of the universe like this, only a mathematician knows that E is incommensurable. Incommensurable in your mathematics, then mathematics itself is digging its grave. No, we solve problems by taking it for granted that E is incommensurable. Poetry does that. Poetry takes us to that level where you can divide God by Pyar and get the entire charms of the universe. And when your Pyar rejects the universe, 0 into infinity is equal to 1. That is God. So, you see how poetry is explained by science, scientific approach. So, there was so much of closeness between Einstein and Tagore because he presented everything with reason. He never lived in the world of hallucination, in the world of imagination. It is wrong to think that he was all the time writing poetry on the basis of imagination. But he made a distinction between fact and truth. I am giving you a story. Tagore writes that when there was a flood in the river Brahmaputra was furious. So, you see how poetry is explained by science, scientific approach. So, there was so much of closeness between Einstein and Tagore because he presented everything with reason. He never lived in the world of hallucination, in the world of imagination. It is wrong to think that he was all the time writing poetry on the basis of imagination. But he made a distinction between fact and truth. I am giving you a story. Tagore writes that when there was a flood in the river Brahmaputra was furious, virulent, flooding all the banks, both the banks, flooding a huge area. And Valmiki was like that, exactly like that, when poetry descended on his throat. When Saraswati descended on Valmiki's throat, he was mad like Brahmaputra and flood. And then the gods understood that a poet is born. And gods are always eager to know which god will be say glorified in his poetry, because they could understand that this man will write a great poem. And so Indra wanted himself to be glorified there. Varun wanted himself to be glorified there. So they sent Narad the globetrotter to Valmiki. Valmiki said that the aroma has come from heaven. Don't take it away. Because if I write a poem on a god, then I will humanize. I don't want to do that. Let them be there in their seat. I want to make a man divine by giving qualities in him. If I write a poem on Indra, then Indra will be treated as a man. But if I write on the ideal man, then the ideal man will be celebrated as God. So I am looking for the ideal man. Narad, can you tell me who is the ideal man? Narad said, well, next time I will tell you. I am going. Next time I come, after having seen the universe, I will tell you the ideal man's name. Then next time when he came, he said, yes, there is an ideal man in this world. He is the prince of Ayodhya. His name is Ram. Then Valmiki said, well, I have heard of him. His name I know, but I don't know the details. His biography is not known to me. Then details. How can I write an epic one? Because in the epic all the details of his life must be there. Then the very remarkable lines. Bharat said, that is truth what you will write. Facts are not always true. Fact is not always truth. Your poetic imagination will create the truth. And it is so correct. Facts cannot be true all the time. For instance, a brother killing a brother. It may be a fact somewhere, but brother killing a brother is a truth. Brother loving a brother is truth. A brother should love a brother. So there are so many facts which cannot be called truth. Shei Shotto Jar Achibe Gumi in Bengali. That is truth, what he will create. Hote Jar Ashal Shotto Nahe. What takes place, what happens is not all true. Your heart is a more authentic birthplace than Ayodhya. Because you will create your Ayodhya. That geographical Ayodhya is not true Ayodhya. Your heart will create the true Ayodhya. During that period when there was so much of stuff over the Ayodhya issue, I explained Tagore's poetry at many places, many meetings, and people realized the truth of it. That your thing, Ramayana, is the real thing, not a historical account of what happened in Ayodhya, what happened to Dashrath, who was Ram, how he bathed, how he takes medicines when ill. All these things are all redundant. Ram is our creation in our heart of the ideal man. This is Tagore's poem, Asha O Chanda. So, this kind of philosophy, that the ideal is created in the human heart. It is the glorious creative imagination. Then another point I just point out to you, that art and artist relationship. I told you that we got it from the Western poets, British poets, that 19th century glorious period of British poetry that came to Tagore and it influenced. Keats writes in Ode on a Grecian Earth, Keats writes this, that when art is created, there is a separation between art and the artist. The artist dies, art does not. Longfellow writing, life is short but art is long. That means the man who creates is temporary. The thing created is permanent. So art, a piece of art, says, beauty is truth. It has the audacity of saying this, not Keats, within inverted commas. Beauty is truth, truth, beauty. That means I am beautiful, the Grecian urn is beautiful. And so I am truth, that means I am everlasting. You are ugly, the man who creates, because he will be old and he will die after some time. And so it is not beautiful, it is ugly. Life is ugly. Because of its transcendence, because of its deformity, because of its degradation, because of its gradual decay. All these things happen in life. But I am beautiful because I am beautiful and so I am true. Taj Mahal says, I am beautiful. Shah Jahan will die, but I will remain for generations to enjoy me. For centuries, I will remain with you. Now, there, art and artist, there is a separation in Keats's poetry. Here also there is a separation. The artist goes, life is greater than the art, Rabindra says. in Rabindranath's language, তোমার কীর্তির চেয়ে তুমি যে মহৎ, you are nobler than your kirti, than your creation. তোমার কীর্তির চেয়ে তুমি যে মহৎ, তাই তব জীবনের রথ, therefore the chariot of your life, পশ্চাতে ফেলিয়া যায় কীর্তিরে তোমার, leaves your kirti, your creation behind, and it goes into infinity. It vanishes from this world. Your kirti remains, you do not. Then how does this kirti, this creation, remain so beautiful for a long time? In Rabindranath's language, সেই তব পশ্চাতে পদধূলি পরে, that means you have left your charan dhul behind. কখন পড়েছিল বীজ জীবনের মাল্য হতে পারলা, that is a seed from the garland of life fell on that dust and that grew. So pran is always a particle falls on the pranless, that means earth, and makes it alive, regular, again and again. Because pran is immortal, pran is infinite, and from that infinite immortality, a dust particle falls on the garland of life and makes all the earth creation beautiful. The difference is that their body-soul difference, that is very important. It started from Tagore's time. Body and soul, they are different. Here, body is part of the soul. There is no such difference between the pran and the pranless. There is nothing like pranless. There is nothing like lifeless. Everything is beaming with life. So Rabindranath felt it, Rabindranath realized it, and he was a poet of Jivan, he was a poet of life, he was a poet of permanent existence. Nothing falls off, nothing is dead. Maranare tumo shyam sama, megha varana tuja, megha jadajitra, and all other lines I forget, but this Tagore's lines, influenced by Vidya. Janamavadi amarup niharan nayana nirapitaphe, lakh yuga hiya rakanu, tav hiya jivananami. This lakh yuga, because we want it, because we pursue it, so our life is glorious. This yatra, that is Rabindranath's central theme of poetry. All the time I am moving like Charaivati says in Upanishad. All the time I am moving, Charadhara, moving forward, never ending movement. So it is not a fulfillment but a journey. Eternal journeyman Tagore, all the time present in his poetry, feeling that there is a relationship between matter and energy. Matter turning into energy, energy taking the shape of matter. This is the journey, fundamental, basic journey. And when matter becomes energy, it goes into the world of infinity. When infinity comes to our perception, it takes the form of matter. So his greatest, most famous lines are, Shimar Maje Asim Tumi, you are Asim in the area of Simit, that means the limited and the unlimited. Unlimited comes to the limited, energy takes the form of matter. Shimar Maje Asim Tumi, Bajao Apon Shur, that means you go on playing your flute, and we see that charm of flower in nature, we hear that sweetness of bird song in nature. So Shimar Maje Asim Tumi Bajao Apon Shur, You are the unlimited within the range of limited, and in your beauty we can perceive. Amar majhe tomar prakash tai eto modhur. So I am so glorious, I am so sweet, because you express yourself through me. Man is Shinvantu Vishwe Antasya Putra. Man is not born of the original sin, but man is born of Amrit. You are within me, and I am finite, you are infinite. But if there is no finite being, then your infinity goes worthless. You have your worth, O God, because I perceive you, because you are manifest within me, and in me it is your existence that matters. Had there been no man, had there been no I, then even you would have been purposeless. God's existence is justified in the mind or heart of man. This is his most important celebration. So, the last point that I make to you, that Amari Chetonar Range Panna Hudushu, the Panna, that stone, is green because I have made it so. The greenness of Panna, that stone which is green, is because of the color of my consciousness. Chuni utlo ranga hoye, the chuni, that stone becomes red because I have made it so in my consciousness. The sun rises because I make it rise. The moon shines because I make it shine. What is this? What is this I then? Because this I is my perception, where God is manifest. The Creator is manifest in the creation. I am His creation, but permanently this Prakriti-Purush relationship goes on. If He is the Creator, I am the Prakriti. And Purush exists because Prakriti is there. I am there, man is there, and so God exists. That's what a big challenge. That is eternally present. There is no God-man separation. Eternally present in His poetry, in His song, everything that He created, this God-man relationship, this finite-infinite relationship, this Prakriti-Purush relationship, that is most manifest. One Rabindra Sangeet is enough to take you to that great world of his hour, great world of realization. One line of his is enough. For instance, I am not going to sing anything, but for instance, the first poem of Gita, Thou hast made me endless, such is thy pleasure. আমায় তুমি যে অসীম করেছো এমনই লীলা করো. This is your Leela, is translated in pleasure. This is your Leela that you have made me endless, O Lord. So I am fortunate, or I perceive you to my fill because you have come down to me. Had you not come down to me, your existence there in heaven would have been of no avail. তুমি তাই এসেছো নিচে, I'm yours. I'm your field of play. I'm your field of lila. Therefore, you have come down, O Purushottam. You have come down, O Jagadishwar, to my heart, and that makes you glorious. Otherwise you have no existence. So is glorification of man. To impossible height he has taken man. And he says that I feel proud of being a man because in me God is manifest. This is his main humanism. That I feel I here means every man of the world. I am proud of being a man because I can perceive. Amari chetonar rong, the color of my consciousness. So I have brought a few quotations, and I don't think that now we get any interest in that, except that one line I read from Jawaharlal Nehru. I wish to pay my deep homage to one who has been as a beacon light to all of us, ever pointing to the finer and nobler aspects of life and never allowing us to fall into the ruts which kill individuals as well as nations. Nationalism, specifically when it urges us to fight for freedom, is noble and life-giving, but often it becomes a narrow creed and limits and encompasses its votary and makes them forget the many-sidedness of life. But Rabindra Tagore has given to our nationalism the outlook of internationalism and has enriched it with art and music and the magic of his words so that it has become the full-blooded emblem of India's awakened spirit. This is Jawaharlal Nehru in Discovery of India. Now, Rabindranath never believed in nationalism of that kind. He called it idolatry of geography. You can well imagine it with this very ordinary example. In the life of a man, he belonged to Dhaka. He fought for India's independence. He was an Indian against the British, taking up arms against the British. Then he became a Pakistani, taking up arms against India. Then he became a Bangladeshi, taking up arms against Pakistan. Now what is this nationalism? Must he call himself an Indian or a Bangladeshi or a Pakistani? So this is no nationalism. It is idolatry of geography. I love India because of India's past, because of India's Vedas and Upanishads, because of India's values, India's Gita, India's pluralistic society, India's love for democracy. I love India for all these qualities that she has. I do not glorify the idolatry of the line that is drawn by man and what in Asia. Say Rabindranath Tagore. His nationalism was like that. And so very easily he could say that this is Greek in India, this is India in Greece, because when qualities come closer, then we can call that, yes, this is something great, something glorious there, this is great and glorious here. So it is the base of internationalism. Man is always everywhere the same. It is man's doing that has separated him from his fellow men. So we should love each other, we should love one another deeply, closely. Last few lines. Kai Jara, my Bengali, how does it sound? Kai Jara aaj roilo pashe, ei jiboner surjo dobar mela. In this even time of life, in this setting time of life, those who are with me, তাদের হাতে হাত দিয়ে তুই বলে নে ভাই এই ভালো এই ভালো, just clasp them in your hand and say, well, this is what I want, this is what I desire. Whoever is before you, you just embrace him and say, this is what I desire. Hey bhalo, aaj ei sangame, kanna hashir ganga jamuna. This is good in this world. I have enjoyed my life in this world of sorrow and pleasure. ঢেউ খেয়েছি, ডুব দিয়েছি, কট করেছি, নিয়েছি বিদায়. I have faced the waves of life. I have taken dips in the water of life. I have filled my pitcher with this water, and I bid goodbye. So there is no pain, Kaviyal Vidana Kana. There is no pain in goodbye because we have loved one another.